Dear Venerables, dear Venerable Nuns, and all those others who have gathered here for this most timely deliberation about women's liberation. And also you have from yesterday morning up to now been hearing various ideas, various thoughts, various deliberations exchanged between those who were talking about the subject as well as those who may have been questioning them. So as you heard, my time is very limited. So it is really very difficult to give accurate and deep analysis of the subject. So therefore, impromptu as it were, just like this as it were, I will just pass on a few words from a different angle that you may have not heard for this time. Now you may have heard the gentleman introducing me as most venerable, very respectfully. But we have the practice of calling those who are greater than us, who are in the sublime position of enlightenment, as the Buddha, I have heard in many talks, being addressed as Gautama, not even as the Samyak Sambuddha. Then I have heard of his great disciples, the perfectly enlightened, most venerable Arahant Theros, being just addressed as Sariputta, Moggallana, Mahakassapa, Ananda, just like that, without giving any recognition or any respect to that great emancipated quality in them. Then in the same way I have heard been the great enlightened Arahant nuns, bhikkhunis, just been addressed like Mahapajapati, Mahapajapati Gautami, Kema, Uppalavanna, Sangamitra, just like that, without giving any consideration whatsoever for their enlightened and emancipated state. Whereas I very humbly say, I cannot hold a candle to them. I am not worth the dust that these Buddhas and the Arahants or the Arya Savakas tread. But I get this respect. So you see, this is the problem lies in the understanding of the realization in the mind. In all the problems we are facing, the problem is rooted in the attitude, in the thinking, in the way we are conditioned. So we go to Kalama Sutta for many times. We go to Kalama Sutta for many times to find answers. But we forget that in the Kitagiri Sutta, in the Majjhima Nikaya Kitagiri Sutta, that the Buddha has taught how a genuine Buddhist disciple will think. And when you say a Buddhist disciple, although 99.99% of his addresses have been bhikkhu, although 99.99% of the times he has addressed as bhikkhu, it means bhikkhu, bhikkhuni, upasaka, upasaka, all of them. Just like in the English language, we address as he, in certain occasions. But it means everyone. So this, in the Kitagiri Sutta, the Lord Buddha says, a devoted disciple of mine thinks, ahang najanami, I don't know. I don't know. We come to the level of zero. We come to the level of humbleness. I don't know. Then who knows all this? Bhagava janati. Bhagava janati. Sakya Muni, the Sarvajna, the Samyak Sambuddha, our Supreme Buddha who knows everything perfectly. That is why it is said that Buddha said, he knows the past, he knows the future, he knows the present, explicitly. Then, aham na janami, I don't know, bhagava janati. Why? Aham savakesu, I am just a disciple, I am just a student, I am just a follower of the Buddha's teachings, of the Buddha's path. Bhagava sattesu. Then if I am just the student, if I am just the disciple, if I am just the follower, who is the great one? Who is the teacher? Who is the master? Who is the guide? It is Bhagava, the all-knowing, Samyak Sambuddha, Sarvajna, Sakya Muni, Buddha, the Lord, Supreme Buddha, Devati Deva, who is supreme to heaven, Brahmati Brahma, who is supreme to Brahmas, Uttari Manusa, who is supreme to humans and all the 10,000 worlds in his emancipated state, which he achieved on his own. Then when we take that position, when I don't know, when I am only the follower, and if only the Buddha knows, and if Buddha is my teacher, we will be thinking of this. Any subject from the Buddha's angle, it is the mind. Mano pubbangama dhamma. It is the mind that is the forerunner. Manosetta manomaya. With the mind at first, the thoughts come, the speech comes, the physical action comes. And with that, either it is negative or positive. So for thousands and millions of years, we are seeing the action of the mind, the result of the mind. Can I be here if there were no ladies? Can any one of us be here if there were no ladies, if there were no women? My mother is a woman. So without a woman, how can we be born? And sadly, in this present state also, even women reject women. There are many stories, even in this scientific, modern, technological era, when the mother doesn't want a daughter, the mother dislikes a daughter, and mothers have killed their daughters. A woman hates woman. Then there have been times when the mother-in-law has killed the daughter-in-law, or has influenced the son to kill the daughter-in-law for sake of dowry, for sake of this, for sake of that. So it's not only the men who are in this, it is the woman also. So in that sense, that is why I said I will approach this in another angle. What is this liberation our Lord Buddha is saying? I will take off the woman part. I will take off the bhikkhuni part, because the liberation is universal for man and woman, for bhikkhu and bhikkhuni, for humans, for gods, for brahmas, for everyone this liberation is needed and necessary. Then what is this liberation the Lord Buddha is teaching? As long as there is hate, there is no liberation. As long there is hatred, there is no liberation. The thinking is polluted. The actions are polluted. As long there is jealousy, the thinking is hatred. Thinking is polluted. Thinking is not correct. As long there is greed, the thinking is polluted. The thinking is not right. As long as fear is there, thinking is polluted. Thinking is not right. As long there is pride, thinking is polluted. Thinking is not right. So on and so forth. Our Lord Buddha has spelled out 1,500 of them. That makes our thinking and our attitudes, our behaviors, which are incorrect in the human world, in the world of Heaven, in the world of Brahma, and everywhere else. 1,500 kilesas, defilements. And there are 220 upakilesas. There's who are down within, 220 more. So now what is our Buddha telling? Sabba dukkha nissarana. Nibbana satchikaranataya. Imang kasavang dattva. Pabba jetamang bante. Anukampang upadaya. So whether a man or a woman decides to come into the order, his sole intention is sabba dukkha nissarana. To get rid of all this suffering, to get rid of all these defilements, to get rid of all this negativity, to find liberation. Nibbana satchikaranataya. That is liberation. There is the only place of liberation. Nibbana. No other place has liberation. It is only in the state of Nibbana achievement. The real, true, factual liberation lies, the utmost liberation. So, for the sake of achieving liberation, please, O monks, give me this robe. Give me this robe. Then we repeat again, sabba dukkha nissarana. Nibbana satchikaranataya. Imang kasavang gahetva. Pabba jetamang bante. Anukampang upadaya. For the sake of getting rid of all these defilements, for the sake of getting rid of all this negativity, for the sake of getting rid of all this pollution, to achieve final liberation, to achieve final emancipation, to achieve the final enlightenment, please put this robe on me and make me a monk or a nun, make me a bhikkhu or a bhikkhuni. Anukampang upadaya. I am appealing to you. I am appealing to you. I am begging you. Be compassionate to me. There you are. It is only in the state of Nibbana that this liberation is finally achieved by a man, by a woman, by a bhikkhu, by a bhikkhuni, by a deva, by the gods, by a Brahma, by the Brahmas. All others are in the Dugati. So we know, according to Buddha, the state of Dugati, the negative realms, it is not possible to achieve this state of liberation. But in the state of Sugati, in Manusa, humans, yes, liberation is possible. In the state of heaven, Deva, the liberation is possible, yes. And in the state of Brahma, the world of Brahmas, yes, the liberation is possible. As long as one is an Arya Savaka, as long as an Arya Savaka, the follower of the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha, is able to see the reality of this teaching and follows the teachings properly. Arya Dhamme Kovido. We have to be skillful in understanding the Buddha's teachings in the right way and to follow it. We have to be skillful. Our ideas are not necessary. It is the Buddha's idea that is necessary. We have to be humble to that level. I am zero. And I get this inspiration from the Lord Buddha and all the Sangha, the Bhikkhu Bhikkhuni of the past, who are the Arya Savakas. And we are approached to the state of Arya Savaka. Arya Dhamme Kovido, in the state of Buddha's teachings. Now to make this building, we don't need a Buddha. Without Buddha, we can do this building. To make a road, we don't need Buddha. Without Buddha, we can do the road. When we are having sickness, to get doctor to prescribe medicine, we don't need the Buddha. Then we need our Lord Buddha, Supreme Buddha, for this purpose of liberation, which no one else has given us. That is the main criteria. Arya Dhamme Svinito. We have to follow this path in the real sense of it. Whether it is a man or a woman, whether it is a bhikkhu or a bhikkhuni, whether it is a manusa, a human being, whether it's a deva, whether he's a god, whether he's a Brahma, he has to be sweet, he has to negotiate his path in that exact way that the Lord Buddha has told us, taught us. And thus the Lord Buddha said, if that happens, this world not be empty of arahants. The Lord Buddha said, if there are people who will do justice to my teachings, if they follow the path exactly as I've said, sacrificing, which is very difficult, what he has said, but if it is done, he has said that this world will not be empty of arahants. That means that this world will not be empty of liberated people. This world be full of liberation by humans, men and women, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, devas, gods, and brahmas. So this wonderful topic, I hope I was able to bring some kind of light from another angle, from what you have been hearing from yesterday morning to this level. We are very, very grateful that Buddha is our master. Buddha is our teacher. The Buddha is our supreme Lord. The most luckiest thing that has happened in my life is that King Ashok sent his son and his daughter to my country. From then on, because of the great Arahant Thero, Mahinda Mahathero, and because of the great Arahant Therani, Sanghamita Mahatherani, our lineage is here, giving us the opportunity of following this holy, noble path, which nobody else has declared, then the Sarvajna, then the Lord Buddha, then the Samyak Sambuddha, nobody else. And we are eternally grateful to India, because it is there only that this Lord Buddha and his teachings and his disciples manifested, and propagation came. And we also carry the blood of India. We are Singhali. We are coming from this northern part of India. So we also have a link to that in many ways. So I wish that every one of us here will target that liberation, the real liberation, the real final liberation, which in Buddha's word is called Arahanta. Arahanta. And if that practice is done without any misconceptions, with sacrifice, with dedication, the Lord Buddha did not achieve this emancipation, liberation easily. It took him 18 million yons to become Samyak Sambuddha. But we don't have to go that far because we are not aiming that high. This life alone may be enough according to the Buddha. But we have to, as he sat under the Bodhi tree, he said, let my bones dispel, let my skin dry up, let my flesh burn away, but I will not get up from achieving final liberation, enlightenment, emancipation. And that is what I wish for all of you. May our Mahabodhi's Society of India, the great founder, the great Bodhisattva Anagarika Dharmapala, his great assistant, the Venerable Brahmachari Walisinger, and his great supporter, Mrs. Mary Foster and all the rest, right up to now, to our General Secretary and all the bhikkhus in charge, and the assistant bhikkhus in charge, and all members of Mahabodhi Society, whether they are holding office or not, and all the rest of you are here, and those who are not here, all in the 10,000 worlds, all gods, all Brahmas, all humans, all beings, unaccountable beings, may all of them find liberation, the final liberation, the real liberation, the exact liberation of eliminating defilements, eliminating misconceptions, wrongdoings, and achieving arahanthood as soon as possible. To all men, women, bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, this is the final criteria. To gods, this is the final criteria. To Brahmas, this is the final criteria. To all who seek liberation, this is the final criteria. Asirvad. May our Lord Buddha bless all of you. The Dhamma bless all of you. Sangha bless all of you. Thank you very much.